they've already made judgments on me. That's on them. That's not on me. I'm not supposed to know how many people in this world like me, and I'm not supposed to care how many people like me. I get it. It's hard. It is hard to do that because everybody wants to be liked. And trust me, I'm a person that literally values myself and my self-worth on what other people think of me. So I will give, because then I'm being valued. It's no different than when I went to work and I would overdo the amount of tasks and I would do so much and I would have so much on my plate, whereas my other teammates wouldn't. But I would overgive and overdo because that to me was how I made myself feel worthy. But then I would also look at it and I would victimize myself and be like, well, I'm being treated unfair. I have to do more than everybody else. My teammates don't like me. And if I felt uncomfortable, then I was basically saying it was them, but maybe it was me. Maybe I was coming off as being standoffish. It's just something where I want you to take the time to acknowledge, to look at it, to think maybe this is happening in your life. I know my husband the other day said something to me and I was like, am I getting back in the victim loop? Maybe I am. I got to stop. I got to take a step back. I got to analyze my life, my situations, and see, am I putting myself in a victim loop? Now, do I do it all the time? Do I only do it with certain people? Do I only do it in certain situations? That's something that needs to be analyzed too. Maybe it's not that I'm always in the victim loop. Maybe it's just with a certain person that I'm doing that. Maybe I'm always doing it, but it's again, revealing it so that I can heal it, fix this so I don't have to keep living in that loop. Because truthfully, when you're living in a victim loop and you're telling everyone how so-and-so doesn't like me or this happened to me and blah, 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 eventually people are just like, I don't know if I want to have this conversation with you. I don't know if I want to have conversations with you because it always ends up with you being a victim somehow. You have the power to change that. You truly do. If you are in a situation where, and these are just examples, I listened to a podcast and one of the guests on there, she was a part of a cult. Now, she didn't start out her life in a cult, but she married a guy and just through the years, she realized that she was in a cult. At first, she just thought that it was his religion and this is just how it was. And then slowly she started seeing more and more and more red flags. And she was becoming more spiritual. She took her Reiki courses and that opened her up to spirituality. And her husband didn't like that because it was different spirituality than what his religion cult was. And ultimately, she was set in this situation. Now, she could have played the victim of, oh my gosh, I have to live like this for the rest of my life because I financially can't afford to move out, or I'm going to pull the plug and I'm going to walk away. She had the choice. Now, that is extreme victimization. I will say that 100%. You're in a cult. You have people telling you how you have to be, or maybe not even like physically telling you, but definitely suggesting it to you. You know, they have rules, they have boundaries, they have this, they have that. You have your husband and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? Yes, that is being put into a victim situation. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not trying to be insensitive in any of this. I'm just saying, like, on a day-to-day, how often are we thinking we are the victim? Because it is a thing where we literally can become addicted to being a victim. Our body just needs that. It doesn't know how to function without that because it's been in that role for so long. It just doesn't know what to do. So it's constantly trying to find situations for you to prove to you that you are, so that your body feels normal, I guess you could say, because really normal would be whatever you're most used to. So to break that, you're going to have to go through uncomfortable situations where you're no longer the victim. Little baby steps. Make it a simple thing. You could go shopping, instead of maybe feeling like the victim in a certain situation, could you stop and could you look at the whole picture? Can you zoom out? Can you maybe see where the other person was coming from? Is it a story that we're telling ourselves sometimes to make us feel like the victim? Sometimes I wonder that. That's one thing that my husband and I talk about quite a bit, about stories. He's like, is that a story you're telling yourself? And I'll look at him and be like, is that a story that you're telling yourself? Sometimes with family, it's really easy to tell yourself a story that isn't even happening because you think that that's how it is. He'll do that a lot with me, where he'll think that I'm going to say something, or he'll think I'm going to react a certain way, or he thinks that it's going to play out a certain way. So in his mind, he's already prepping for that to happen. And then I'm not going to do that. And maybe 5 other times I did do that. But today is the 6th time. I'm going to be different today. And I changed up on him and he's like, what the heck? And he's prepping for all those other times and he's ready to have that fight. And then we end up fighting because he's already trying to brace for that fight. So he's already in a mood and he's already hard to deal with because he's told himself a story about what is going on. And I do that a lot too with him. And I'm like, is that a story that you're telling yourself? And he's like, well, I'm like, no, is it a story that you're telling yourself? Like, I don't know. It could be or it could not be. And I'm not trying to be rude when I'm asking that. I'm just simply saying, check yourself, check the facts. What are the facts? Is it a story? Is it 100% truth? If it's not 100% truth, then okay, it's probably a story. If it is 100% truth, then it probably did happen. The thing too is when we are feeling like we are the victim, the other thing that you have to realize is it's perception. It is our perception. Now, our perception is going to show us what we've seen in the past, our patterns in the past. So again, if you've had situations in the past where you have been a victim and maybe you had a narcissistic husband, was your first husband, and then you divorce that husband and you end up with another husband. And now your system still believes that your new husband is going to be a narcissist and you're just literally waiting for that ball to fall. And you're like, okay, well, when is it going to happen? And so then your system is starting to make up these ideas or situations or perceptions that you're a victim in this situation. And maybe that's not how it really was. Maybe it was just perception because your body doesn't know any different. So when I read card number 40, you were caught up in drama, act to free yourself, change and blossom again. It just really spoke to me to talk about the victim addiction and how we might need to look at the bigger picture. We might really need to focus and analyze ourselves and see, are we creating this? What's our perception of this? And how can we change it? We have the power to change it. We don't have to keep going through life like that. Do you always want to be the victim? Ask yourself that. Do you? That's giving away your power. Every time that you feel or have a perception that you are a victim in a certain situation, you're giving away your power. Now, maybe you're going out for lunch with a group of people and there's someone there that you're just feeling an awkward, odd vibe and you're like, oh, they don't like me, or it's because I said this, or something like that. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe you're just such a bright light that they're uncomfortable by you. You're not a victim by that. You're a bright light. Take it. Say, yeah, you know what? I am a bright light, and own it and take that into your power. Maybe they just got some really bad news before coming to lunch and they didn't feel like they could cancel. And so they're sitting there trying their best to pretend that everything is great, but really it's not in their world. And you take that on and you're like, they don't like me, or they're upset with me because of this or because of that. No, they're just going through a really hard time right now. Maybe they just had a massive fight with their significant other or their child. There's a lot of times I'm going to say I get out of the truck and my son has been upset with me and he's been mad with me and we haven't seen eye to eye, as we like to call it. So maybe that person, same thing, they weren't seeing eye to eye with their kid before they got there or with their husband, and it's bothering them. Maybe somebody said something to them on the way in, or they overheard something and it's bothering them. Sometimes it's not even about us. It's more about them. but we take it on as our own. We take it on as we're the unlikable ones. And it could be past life karma that makes you end up in this victim sort of addiction, because past life karma, you maybe never felt worthy enough. You didn't have self-love. I get it. That's my past life karma, definitely. I mean, I'm literally in this lifetime trying to work on that karma. And that's fine. That's my past life karma. It's nothing bad. There's no good. There's no bad. It's just is. And that's the thing, is instead of me giving all of my power all the time to everybody else where, well, they don't like me, poor woe is me, I can be like, that's cool. Do I like myself? Did I do something at all in that lunchtime that I am not proud of myself, happy with myself, where I feel guilty in any way? No. Did I treat them with respect? Yeah. Did I talk to them? Did I try to make them feel good? Did I respect them and give them space if that's what they sort of needed? How did I interact with them? Because the only person that I can control in that situation is myself. I can't control the other person, but I can control myself. So as long as I'm walking out of that lunch feeling good about what I did, then that's all that I should be caring about. I get it. I understand we are on Earth and it is Earth school and it is a hard lesson. And majority of us want to be accepted and liked. I understand that. But we should be accepted and liked and loved by ourselves before anybody else. I get it. It's hard. I understand. I'm still trying to work that out too. I am. I truly am. I'm not there yet. I'm working alongside with you as well. It's just something to keep in mind. Just watch and see. Because again, most times it's not about you. Maybe that person just feels so uncomfortable. It could also be sometimes past life karma. And I think of that too. I'm always like, okay, I'm having a challenging time with someone. Now I could be the victim. And trust me, I was in corporate world. I had a person that I worked with where we did not mesh. It wasn't working. And it was a really hard situation because we needed to mesh in order to work through everything and to provide the best services for everyone that we supported. We had to work together and we did not mesh. And that's okay. It's challenging as heck. It truly is. But I sit back now that I'm removed from that position and I'm like, is it a past life karma situation? Like, you know how you just meet those people and you're just turned off by them? Or you just meet them and it's just a hard lesson? I know of somebody where they went to work and their manager and them never, ever saw eye to eye. It was a toxic environment. Well, is that from a past life? Was there any reason in this lifetime that should have been happening? If not, then let's maybe look into it and say, okay, it's probably a past life situation. Well, could I do an Akashic Records read? Could I learn a little bit about this? Can I journal about this? Can I really sit deep and see where this might be coming from? The person that I had at my workplace, when I stop and I look, I feel like we have a past life together. This is all just a past life karma. And we were supposed to be here to learn how to work it out. I don't know if we really did. So we might have to do it in another lifetime. Or was it a lesson that it wasn't a past life lesson, but it was a lesson for myself to step back and learn and look at myself and be like, whoa, where have you gotten so off course on your soul path? Where are you looking at this and being the victim? What's your perception of this? Is that fact? And I had a boss once say that to me quite a bit. She's like, is that a story that you're making up or is that fact? And the first time she looked at me, I was like, whoa. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, is it fact or is it a story and a perception that you're seeing and making up? Did it really happen? What are the facts? And of course, in the moment, you can't really give a whole lot to that. And I went back to my desk and I started thinking. And, then that night I'm thinking. And the next morning I'm thinking. I think I took probably a day or two to really think. And I was like, it's all perception. At the end of the day, it was perception. I was perceiving this, that person was doing this to me. But in reality, they weren't. It was just a perception. And our perception is so funny. Partly it's our subconscious trying to protect us, and partly we can only perceive things that we know. So if you only know this situation of being a victim, You're going to perceive all the time that you are the victim. But step back, ask yourself, is it true or is it not? Is it my perception that I am, or was I really the victim? We don't have to keep living in this. And what I think about this is, if we don't learn how to get out of this victim loop, where we leave off in this lifetime, we need to pick up in another lifetime. We need to learn this. So if we don't learn it in this lifetime, we're going to be learning it in our next lifetime. Do you want to relearn that lesson? That is always a question that I ask myself a lot lately. Do I want to relearn this? Can I learn it now? If I was to pass away today and not learn my lesson, and I got to come back and repeat it, is it a lesson I want to repeat, or is it a lesson that I just want to learn? Mark it, check it off 100%. We are done. Let's move on to the next lesson. Essentially, in every single lifetime, we are going to have lessons. That is what Earth School is about, is lessons. But we have to pass the lesson before we can gain a new lesson. You got to pass grade 1 before you can move into grade 2. You got to pass grade 2 before grade 3. Like, you can't go from grade 1 to grade 5. You got to do it in the steps. We have to pass the lesson before we can move on. So I always ask myself that. Do I want to repeat this lesson? Can I learn it in this lifetime? And ever since I started doing the Akashics, and ever since I started learning about our past life karma and our past life lessons and how it affects us in this lifetime, and even our ancestral karma and how it's affecting us in this lifetime, it literally makes me want to learn and pass as many lessons as possible, because I just don't want to have to do them in the next lifetime. I just want to learn what I'm supposed to learn in this lifetime so that I can mark it complete, so that I can go on to my next lesson in my next lifetime. I don't want to have to bring grade 1 into my next lifetime. I don't want to have to repeat it. I want to finish it, move on into my next lifetime, which is grade 2. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it lately. And so I'm always asking myself that all the time. Do I want to pass this lesson? Do I want to pass this lesson? More times than not, it's yes. Yes, I do. I want to pass it so that I can move on to the next grade. I don't want to repeat it. I really, really don't. Let's learn it. Let's move on. That is my topic for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you gained something from it. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not. It's been one that I've had for quite some time that I've wanted to talk about. I've recorded one before and I was too scared to put it out there. I second guessed myself. I'm like, what if I offend people? I was trying to be very digestible. And one thing that I'm learning, Mott is teaching me basically to speak the honest speech, not to be so digestible. I have been taking a lot of courses with Akasha Awakened, showing me that not to be so digestible and just to come from my heart, to come from the honest speech. And that is exactly what I'm doing. So I don't even know if I have this podcast recorded somewhere else or if I just deleted it after, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. But it's been coming up lately. The last little bit, it's just been pinging my mind. It's like, you should talk on this. And even today when I was mowing the lawn, you should do it on the victim loop. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, maybe I should do it on grounding. And I literally started doing my podcast and I got all my notes for grounding. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on grounding. And I started one and I got 23 minutes in and I was like, no, I don't want to do it on grounding. It just isn't at this time what I want to do it on. I am going to do a podcast on grounding. Definitely. I think it's very important. It just wasn't what I wanted to talk about today. And then the cards spoke. They did. When I read card number 40 about the drama, it literally was like, okay, that's what you should do it on. But on the drama part as well from card number 40, I've noticed lately there's a news story that's pretty heavy right now in Saskatchewan. And when this podcast comes out in 2 weeks, I don't know what the dynamic of this story is going to be. We probably all kind of know what the story is. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail for those that aren't around, but it's all over our social media. Like everywhere you turn, it is the biggest headline news. in Saskatchewan right now, and I'm getting caught up. I'm reading the comments. I want the comments. I want to put my 2 cents into people's comments. Not that I like reply back, but in my own mind, I'm, putting my 2 cents in. I'm reading the comments. I'm like, whoa, take a step back, Dawn. That is not you. Why are you getting wrapped up in this drama? The situation happened. It is a sad, tragic story. I feel for the people involved. I do. Leave it at that. Do not read the comments anymore in those stories. Don't even read the stories anymore. It's like it pops up and I'm instantly wanting to read more of it. And there's really nothing new with the story. And it's just a whole lot of people with opinions. And I'm reading all these opinions and getting caught up in the drama. And I'm like, whoa. And so when I got that card, I was like, the card is telling you to stop with the drama. Stop with the drama. And that is what I'm doing. So I thank the cards today. The cards spoke. I appreciate the cards. I love the cards. I love doing the card pull all the time. If you want help regarding your past life karma, your current karmic loops or limiting beliefs, blocks, or your ancestral karma, please reach out to me at elevatedsoulhealing.com. I can do Akashic Records reads, we can do Reiki, we can do heart code, body code, emotion code, as well as I can help you with your family line, see who you're connected to in your family line, and a little bit of family karma as well in that regards. I can help you with this. Just reach out to elevatedsoulhealing.com. It's on my website. Book a session with me. I would be more than happy to help you through this. Definitely. It is something that if you don't want to have to repeat in your next lifetime, if you want to complete grade 1 and move on to grade 2 without having to repeat grade 1, get a hold of me at elevatedsoulhealing.com. I do have my Facebook pages. So I have Elevated Soul Healing for Facebook and Instagram. You can go and follow me there. I truly do appreciate all the people that have subscribed. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Please, if you're new, if you would like to subscribe, I would definitely appreciate that. If you could leave a review, I would appreciate that. If you have the ability to rate my podcast, I would appreciate that. That all helps my podcast to grow and to have more people listen to my podcast. And my goal in 2026 is to get more listeners and to help my podcast grow. So I truly would appreciate that so very much. I'm super excited. So I'm just taking a quick look here. So in a month's time, my podcast will have been out for a year. I'm 1 month away from my podcast being out for 1 full year. I am so proud of myself and so excited for myself. There have been times where I'm like, I don't know, should I keep doing my podcast? It takes a lot of time. My computer is just so old and so slow. So it takes a long time to edit. My last couple of podcasts, as I'm editing, it's just shutting down. My internet browser that I'm using, it's very painful. If you listen to my other previous podcasts, you'll know that I have literally tried to get a new computer and it just wasn't in stock and I don't know what I'm going to do. Long story short, still trying to make the decision on the new computer now. I'm proud of myself. I'm truly 100% so proud of myself. I don't know if I'm going to do maybe something for my 1 year, like a giveaway or something like that. We'll have to see. I'll think about it. And then I was thinking too today when I was mowing the grass, I was like, Elevated Soul Healing, it's been around for a year. That's amazing too. I don't really have like the set date of when Elevated Soul Healing started. And there's a lady that I listen to on a podcast. She does a spiritual podcast as well. And she always says the anniversary date of her company is when she launched the website. And I'm like, oh, my website though was out so much after I started my business. So I was like, I don't know. I'll have to kind of figure that out of when I started my business or when I launched my website. But either way, it's been almost a year for my website, maybe. I'll have to see when I launched it. But I'm pretty excited, you guys. Some big moments coming up. I'm proud of myself. But yes, if you want to get an Akashic Records redone or work on some ancestral healing, past life karma healing, karmic blocks in this lifetime, feel free to go to elevatedsoulhealing.com and book in with me. I would truly appreciate that. And I thank you so very much for being here with me today. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and have the most wonderful week. Until we talk again next week, have a lovely, lovely week. And thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.